And welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Tyler J. I have here a half cup, measuring cup, all-purpose flour, and a bowl. What could I be up to? Stick around and find out. We're going to start with a half cup flour and a half cup of yellow cornmeal. I like to keep mine at a 50-50 1-to-1 ratio. I'll go ahead and tell you, this is my breading I use for my fish. I'm fixing to fry up the catfish that you saw me catch in the last fishing video. Now, we have the 50-50 flour, yellow cornmeal. We have salt, black pepper, garlic powder, just a little, and Old Bay. I like the flavor it gives, and it's not super strong, so you can be a little bit generous with that one. And one secret ingredient to make this over the top, it's all personal preference, but this is my personal, grated Parmesan Romano cheese, like you put on top of your pastas. And just a nice, generous portion of that. And then we're just going to take a fork and mix well. Now we have our breading mix up here. See all the little specks of flavor and all the colors. Slotted spoon, our fresh catfish fillets, oil, and a skillet. Now, the stove's still hot because I just got done fixing the mac and cheese. But we're going to go ahead and crank the heat back up to medium high there. And we're going to pour about a ½ inch of oil solid in our skillet. Okay, I lied. About just a good portion in there that's enough to cover the bottom and start to come up the sides, because these fillets aren't super thick and you don't want to waste oil or oversaturate more than necessary. Now we have to wait on that oil to get good and hot, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, we're going to check the temperature of our oil. I'm just going to take a little pinch of our breading mix here. Oh yeah, see that sizzle? That means the oil is good and hot. So, we're going to take one of our catfish fillets. We're just going to roll it in our dry mix. This isn't like a batter. This is literally just a breading. I don't do the wet, dry, wet, egg wash, all that. I just make sure it's nice and coated. And into the oil it goes. Listen to that sizzle. And we'll grab another one. And just give it the same treatment as well. And number 3. And a slotted spoon or one of those spiders or whatever you have, I mean, even tongs, a fish spatula, even a fork will work at this point. And we're just going to this is a little hard to do one-handed. There we go. We're just going to flip it. Look at that beautiful golden brown complexion. Oh, that is gorgeous. You kind of press that down because it wants to puff up, and you want to make sure that it all hits the oil here. Don't want any catfish sushi while you're trying to enjoy your southern fried catfish. And while that's cooking, we're going to give this just about, about that long. Turn it back one more time. You know, just to make sure everybody got nice and coated and all the thick ends have cooked all the way through. Paper plate with paper towels on it. And out of the grease and onto the towel. If you have any questions because the skin side's a little bit lighter, you can drop it back in there for just a couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes, but a few more seconds, because this catfish is actually pretty delicate and it cooks rather quickly in hot grease. So even this big piece right here, I'm confident is cooked all the way through. Onto the paper towel. Onto the paper towel. And set that aside. Because we still had one more. I didn't want to overcrowd the skillet because of the other big fillet here. So, and once again, just roll it in our flour cornmeal seasoning mixture. That would be the skin side and the flesh side. Flesh side down, right into the oil. See the edges beginning to curl up where it's thin. And you want to give it, you know, 30 to 35 seconds. Just until you know that it's got a nice crispy bottom layer already. And flip it over. Mash it down so that all that curl gets submerged. Turn it so the thicker end is in the deepest part of the oil if your skillet leans like mine does. And once again, about 25-30 seconds on this side. You can see it's nice and brown, but it didn't burn. It just got some good color to it. A couple more presses just to find those little pockets like that right there. Flip it back. Admire the color. That's just those very thin edges. That is not burnt. That's just those little fine edges. Maybe 10 more seconds. And we're going to remove it from the grease and onto our paper plate as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Tyler J. Love you all. Take care. One last note before I go. Any leftover breading mix, as long as there are no large clumps, pieces of fish, or anything in it, just snap a lid on, airtight, and store that in your freezer or fridge, or you can put it in a Ziploc baggie and press all the air out, store it in the fridge or freezer, and it stays good for months. But it does need to be refrigerated because, remember, there is Parmesan and Romano cheese in this. So, I now have my Granny's macaroni and cheese, fresh fried catfish, and I'm getting hungry. So, you folks take care. Hopefully you can try one of these recipes. Hopefully you like them. Be sure to leave me some feedback in the comments. Ask any questions. And until next time, love you guys. This is Tyler J. Take care and God bless.